like to, oh, there it is. Welcome, I'd like to welcome everyone, both online and in the audience, to the Thursday, October 2nd, 2025 Gualala Municipal Advisory Council meeting to order. The time is 6:01. You want to do a roll call, Henry?
Sure. Dan?
Yes, I'm here.
Don?
Here.
Henry Mayer here. Robert?
Aye.
Zachary? Here. Kevin?
Here. And just report that both Councilmember Schbach and Councilmember Finley
Does this sound about right to you?
Absences tonight.
I can't tell.
We do have a quorum, and we will move on to item 2, approval of the agenda. Everyone should receive a copy of the amended October 2nd agenda. Any additions, subtractions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
We'll make a motion to approve October 2nd agenda.
I'll second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. I will make one other announcement. Because we do have 2 council members absent tonight, alternate Zach Hayward is sitting in as a regular member this evening. Okay, next item on the agenda, approval of the September 4th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Everyone should have received a copy of that. Any additions, deletions, corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Zach. Further discussion? Hearing none. Signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
I abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay, 1 abstention with Robert. Okay. Item 4, correspondence and presentations. Everyone should have received all of this documentation online. If you haven't, contact David, our secretary, and he can make sure that you have hard copies or email copies of all the correspondence. Anybody from the audience want to say anything? No? Okay, next item, item number 5. A report from the Mendocino County Sheriff's Department.
Good evening, how are you guys this evening?
We're excellent.
Can you hear me okay? Good, perfect. So, how's everybody? Everybody good? It's good to see you guys again. So I'm gonna give you the stats from September 1st to September 30th. A total of 33 calls for service in the Gualala area during that time. The whole South Coast during that time was 228 calls, so that would be Mendocino South, about 228 calls during that time. For here in Gualala, you had 1 reported trespass, 2 reported thefts, 2 reported suspicious circumstances, 1 reported shots heard, 11 security checks, 2 attempts to serve restraining orders, 1 report of harassment, 1 domestic dispute, 4 just general disturbance calls, which are usually an argument or a party or something like that that we go deal with a noise complaint, 1 alarm, and 7 911 hangups or unknown 911. Yes, sir.
Can you please explain what a security check is?
So a security check is me. That's usually self-initiated activity by myself or one of the other deputies down here, where I go to a specific property and check doors, or I go to a specific location like you saw me in the park the other day. That would be considered a security check. I'll either walk through the area or I'll make myself seen in that area. There's been some reported mail tampering on one of the other local streets here, just like in the last couple days, and so I'm doing some extra patrols up there during a specific time. I'm trying to break up the time to different parts of the day, and it's in about it's within several addresses, so it's several blocks that I do, and I just let dispatch know, hey, extra patrol in this area at this time, and they put it down as a security check.
What's mail tampering? So people
So-
taking stuff from the mailbox.
Right, it would be mail, I'm calling it tampering because they didn't take anything. So they just took somebody's mail out of their mailbox and actually dropped it about 4 addresses down. So whether they were looking for what they thought might be correspondence, like something that might have money in it or not, literally they took the mail out of somebody's roll box and dropped it like 4 addresses down. So that happens, usually it's transitory in nature, usually it happens on one street, you know, and then for a while and then it's gone. Or sometimes it's actually somebody just traveling through the area that hits a whole bunch of addresses as they go through. And if they don't find anything they want, a lot of times they do just dump the mail, so. Any other questions, gentlemen? Okay, well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see some of you again that I recognize. I just wanted to make a showing. I told you I would be here whenever I could. I've been pretty busy, and summer was pretty wild on the north end of the coast, so there was a lot going on. So things have finally kind of slowed down a little bit, so I've had an opportunity to come down and pay a visit and show my face again. Sounds like Deputy McNally's been doing a fine job down here and keeping everything safe. I do want to remind everybody that, you know, Deputy McNally does a great job and he's very proactive down here, but we also have other deputies that patrol down here pretty frequently when he's not at work, which he has to have some days off now and then. So we try to keep on top of some of the issues, you know, the patrols. Like I just did it tonight when I came in. Before I came in, I got down the coast a little early, so I stopped in at the park and poked around and, you know, used facilities and stuff just to make sure everything looks like it's supposed to. So we all try to do that whenever we can, and everybody tries to get down here to spend some time and make a presence. So despite the fact that he puts in the most effort, we try to keep everybody involved so that the burden's not 100% on him. So does anyone have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
It looks like you're wearing a body camera, correct?
I am, yes. That's
Are you
correct.
guys required to wear those all the time now, or what?
We are, yes. Okay. Yeah, we implemented those about almost 2 years ago, and it's been very effective. You know, I've been in law enforcement for 25 years, and when I started this job, we didn't have them. You know, we had little funky old recorders that actually took like micro cassette tapes for getting statements and such. And occasionally you would pop them on if there was something going on that you actually thought about turning it on. But I kind of saw them as, you know, a double-edged sword when we first implemented them. But they've turned out to be a very useful tool in both ways, you know. And I think for some people it maintains their integrity and their performance. So, you know, it's a good thing. And it's great for us to be able to recall situations and whatnot, you know, because we miss a lot of stuff sometimes, and, you know, a lot of incidents that we deal with are very dynamic, and, you know, you might handle, in a 12-hour shift, you might handle 27 calls and have to write, you know, potentially 4 or 5 reports out of all that. And you've got all these statements and information rolling around in your head from all these people you talk to at various locations. You can revert back to that and listen back and watch and see what happened. So very, very useful. Any other questions?
Oh, I just wanted to say, I think we're fortunate to have you two working with Matt, and we see you now on a regular basis for quite some time, so I just thought I'd express my appreciation.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd like to be here. I zoomed in last time and I had a heck of a time. I couldn't, apparently my laptop wasn't working right, so I ended up being on my phone and I didn't identify me on there. But I've been paying attention and listening, so I just wanted you guys to know I'm not completely checked out. I just I have a lot going on and I try to stay on top of all of it. And you know, while all in the South Coast is very important to us, so we're all trying to keep a handle on things, you know. But it seems like it's doing well right now. So appreciate that. And the other thing is my shifts. I have kind of some goofy shifts compared to some of these meetings, your meeting and then the Point Arena City Council meetings. And so I have to adjust my schedules to try and make it to all these different events, you know, because they're really tight on overtime right now, so.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yes.
Now, this next question might be more appropriate for the sheriff, but I'll ask you anyway. What is the sheriff department's policy with regards to cooperating or collaborating with ICE?
Well, right now, we don't cooperate with them. There is no firm policy on that. It's just pretty much what we've been directed. And we just do not, we don't cooperate with them. If they need our assistance for some reason because of officer safety, that goes for any law enforcement agency. If they were being attacked or if they were being harmed in some way, we are gonna go to their aid. But as far as, you know, providing them information or cooperating with them about locations and things like that, we've been directed to not go there. And so that's been put out publicly to let the public know, because, you know, there's a lot of folks in the community that are afraid that, you know, we would somehow be providing information to ICE, and that is definitely not true. So we have no connection with that, and they have not, you know, they've been known to be in the area and such, and they have not reached out to us for anything. So, but it would be strictly on an emergency type situation where they needed our assistance.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome.
Okay, anything else? Thank you both so much.
You're welcome.
We know that the public has noticed your presence down here, and it's deeply appreciated, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It's always good to see you guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
I guess I should have asked, is there anybody from the public who wants to ask questions? Oh, well.
Yeah, that was
Later.
in the ICO a while back.
Yeah, just one.
Was it
Clarify that.
Okay, item number 6, public comments on non-agenda items. A maximum of 3 minutes is reserved for members of the public to address the Gualala Municipal Advisory Council on items not listed on the agenda. The total time for public input on any particular issue is a total of 20 minutes for the total public comment. The council is prohibited from discussing or acting on matters not on the agenda, but may briefly respond or ask a question for clarification. Anyone in our viewing audience would like to make a public comment on a non-agenda item? No hands up?
Don't see any hands.
Okay. We close item number 6, public comments. On to item number 7.1, Coastal Development Permit 2024-0018. Valerie Walker, PG&E. So, I see, okay. I'll go ahead and open it up. This has been a routine matter that has come to our council on numerous occasions, notifying us that PG&E is going through the Coastal Commission to get permission to take down trees that are either dead or potentially dead, and pose a possible risk to property or public safety. You may have looked on your page, maybe not. There are 35 locations identified. One of them is a grove of 9 Bishop Pine. The preponderance of the trees, you can imagine, are Bishop Pines, some tan oaks, Douglas firs. Under the scope of work, they're all recommended being removed, and so they're bringing it to our attention this evening. Most of them, if you looked at the online map, are up and down our coast from the border of Gualala all the way up to Point Arena. And so, is there anyone, that concludes my report because it's fairly routine. Any questions from the council? Robert?
I didn't have a chance to look at it thoroughly, however, I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that are pretty much in GMAC jurisdiction, right? That we should be concerned with or look at a little closer, possibly?
I would think that there are,
Judging by the mile markers, up to about 9.96, that's getting very close to Iverson, if not.
right,
So, that somewhat reduces our review, I would think.
go ahead and show Robert that's, I think that map there indicates, the total boundaries.
Okay, and I have mistaken something here because it says, South Highway 1 post mile markers.
Yeah.
And only 4 of them really apply to us, but I see all these other places now here. Where is that Fish Rock Road? Yeah.
Oh, I think this is,
Dan?
Yeah, the 9-mile marker is just about exactly where that construction speed limit sign has been in the turnout this side of Iverson. So by the time you get another mile farther down, or 0.97 miles farther down,
Right.
you're past Iverson, I believe.
Right, so that next one, the 5th one listed on our agenda is 19.7 mile marker.
Yeah,
So
that's
I don't know.
the other side of
This
Point
map-
Arena.
This map is showing a whole,
That's showing all the trees that are proposed to be removed. So I would say 1 starts at the bottom and
okay. So, these doesn't coincide with all the mile markers that they indicate here. Something's not thorough enough here on this, description of the CDP, in my opinion. You follow me? I mean, the mile markers don't jive with that map. There's additional locations on that map.
supposed to be mile markers, or is it a different?
That's what I'm wondering.
okay, I do notice that, Jesse Waldman, from Mendocino County Planning Building Services is the staff planner for the project. Jesse, would you like to make any comments regarding, the item?
Good evening, everybody on the Gualala Municipal Advisory Council. This is Jessie Waldman from Mendocino County Planning and Building Services. And the mile markers are information that were provided at time of the application from PG&E. I have not checked the actual mile markers. And so I'm listening to you and I'm looking to find where those actual mile markers are. I would like to provide a clarification on the location that the trees that are proposed under this coastal development permit is between China Gulch and Slick Rock Creek. If that helps you with mile markers, because I will have to do a little more analysis of which actual mile markers correlate with which work area.
Well,
And so
yeah, China Gulch would be on the Gualala Sonoma County border, so.
okay. So the China Gulch and Slick Rock Creek, we're only looking at the trees that are in Mendocino County, and I will absolutely be revising the location information. I would like to take you in to your agenda packet.
Yeah.
I know it's 218 pages, but if you're looking at a PDF, I'm gonna tell you which actual page has the Gualala MAC area. Hold on just a moment. Thought it was the last sheet before reports. I apologize. This is taking a couple minutes.
Oh, no worry.
No
Why,
problem. I have a correction.
Okay.
Say it
So
afterwards.
if, oh, I apologize. Should I continue?
Yes,
oh, sure, go
please.
ahead.
If you're looking in a PDF format, because I'm not sure what, if you're looking at paper, I don't want you to count to page 170, but if you're in your your digital document on page 170 of the 218-page document, there is the Municipal Advisory Council map area, and the trees that are being proposed to be removed are shown clearly in the gray area that is the MAC, the Gualala GMAC. If that's helpful to you.
Yes.
What page is that?
What, page
170?
170.
Okay.
It's a big file.
Show that to Robert, that's where he lives.
The other thing that's helpful here is rereading this. It's singling out those 4 mile markers in the coastal zone, or down on Highway 1, I should say. But the project includes vegetation management activities along the 12 kilowatt or kilovolt or whatever kV routine, the distribution lines which run, I think, on the ridge. So that's where I maybe went wrong.
Yeah, I
So
think it's
this,
explicitly calling out that some of them are on Highway 1.
Yeah.
It's not saying it's just those, it's included.
So that's where I just went straight to, oh, what can affect GMAC here as far as mile markers, and that's why I jumped to that conclusion. So this came up before, like the chair, like Kevin said, years and years ago at GMAC, and we had a lot of the public come to our meeting at that time because there was, I believe, some spraying involved at that time. And so there were some people on the ridge that were very concerned about that. But looks like it's just cutting or trimming.
Yeah, and removal.
Okay.
Because the letter from the county, it's in here somewhere. But there is a letter from PG&E explaining exactly this.
Oh,
You got a
sorry,
question?
just look like Jesse, raise your hand again.
Okay, yeah, Jesse, go ahead.
if I may, through the chair,
Absolutely.
all tree removal that is proposed will be removed in the following methods. Truck and equipment will remain on existing roads. Any tree that is proposed that is not on the road right of way, hand crews will go in and remove those trees and drag the brush away from the falling area and clean up in the appropriate manner per the PG&E's best management plans that they are required to follow. That's also in your packet. No herbicides or chemicals will be used, and they will have proper environmental specialists on duty during certain sites if they're close to a creek or a waterway. So no equipment will be going off an already established road, whether it's a private road, a county road, or a state highway. And staff is working with the project to make sure that any encroachment permits, whether it's with Caltrans or with the County Department of Transportation, are obtained should there be vehicles in the roadway to, protect safety and travel, vehicle travel.
Jesse, I have a question for you. When this goes through and is approved, will you be, or not you, will PG&E be notifying all the property owners?
There will be a public notice when this project goes to public hearing. I do not have a date for the coastal permit administrator at this time. The standard currently our hearing bodies are noticed through the newspaper. We've modified how we send out. And then also if there was over, let's say, I think if it's over 500, don't quote me, it could be 1,000 adjacent parcel owners, then it would also be through the newspaper. That's how we used to mail everything out. And then if it got too big, we just put it in the newspaper. So there will be a notice in the local newspaper for your area.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I noticed that it's not only tree removal, but it's also vegetation, correct?
Yes, the purpose of the project is to make sure that the utility company's transmission lines are clear should trees fall or cause damage to the utility lines, but also for fire prevention per the California state regulations.
And when it's approved, when do you anticipate they will start working?
I'm not actually sure what order they are going to do the work in, but I will tell you some of the work is seasonal dependent. Some of the site specific will have to happen after April, but not all of them. So I don't know if they are going to start as soon as possible or if they're going to wait until April to do all of them.
Okay. Any other questions from council? Any questions from anyone in our viewing audience? Seeing none, I'll close public comment and bring it back to the council for further discussion or action.
Not much to say. It's a good thing to do.
A lot of it is concentrated in our area, have you noticed?
I
I try to pull it closer, but I can't.
I did notice that a lot, well, and this is good because driving along Highway 1, you notice a lot of dead bull pine, bishop pine, and this will help with fire mitigation. So I appreciate that PG&E is doing this.
Also more likely to keep the lights on.
Yes, good point. Okay, if there's no other discussion, I will entertain a motion from anyone to approve coastal development permit 2024-0018.
Move to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Zach. Hearing no further discussion. Oh, we have a hand up. Jesse?
Oh, I raised my hand too soon. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll come back to it. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I will go ahead and write the letter on behalf of GMAC for our action to Ms. Waldman and the County Planning and Building Services. Okay, Jesse, what?
Thank you for your time this evening.
Well, thank you for joining us and helping answer some of our questions.
My pleasure. Have a great evening.
You too.
Okay.
Okay. Old business. Item 8.1, review and adopt proposed bylaw amendment. Evans Mayor, at the regular GMAC meeting on September 4th, 2025, council members discussed the need for a second alternate member and concurred on amending the GMAC bylaws to add a second alternate member to the council. The proposed bylaws amendment was posted to the GMAC website no less than 14 days before this meeting. Do you want to start or do you want me?
Up to you.
This item is, we brought forth this item for a couple reasons. One is to ensure that we have a full complement of GMAC members able to attend our meeting, realizing that many of the GMAC members have lives outside of our council here, and so when they're able to take vacations or other family issues, we don't want to have our operations slow down or cease from having a meeting because of lack of quorum. The other person is that we're finding that we're now getting a lot of public interest to be involved in our area on organizational items, and one is being a part of GMAC, and we're fortunate enough to have Zach become an alternate. But what we would like to do is we would like to encourage other members of the community as well to join our ranks as an alternate. It is no expense to the county at all because these are volunteer positions, they're not paid. So what we're doing is pushing forward, amending our bylaws to change it from one alternate to 2 alternates that the Board of Supervisors can approve. And then we can make sure that we've got a full complement of council members, council member alternates, and that we set up a continuity program should any one of our members decide to go on to different things. We have people that we can draw from that will be fully abreast of what's going on in our community and can step right in. So I think that is one.
Can the speaker talk louder, please?
Oh, I can turn up the volume a little bit.
Or put the closer to the microphone for the benefit of the audience online and for the recording?
Okay,
Thank you.
how's that?
Still can barely hear you.
You wanna try again?
Just keep the mic as close, because there's no, it's just for you, so.
Yeah, it's just, can you hear
swap
me
it if
now?
you want. You can just put it up to your face.
A little bit better, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
we're
whoops.
working on that technical difficulty.
Okay, here, how's that?
How's that?
A little better.
Try again?
We'll try one more time.
Yeah, much better.
Okay, good.
My apologies. You've got a new technician on for today, so thank you for bearing with us.
It's all good.
We worked through it.
So not to go through all of that, it's just so we would like to add a second alternate to our council for continuity's sake, and make sure that we have a full complement of council members at all of our meetings. Dan?
Yeah, I completely blew up and forgot. I submitted my request to be approved back in, got it notarized, sent it in, and have not heard back from the county yet.
You're good.
For my
You're good.
extension, huh?
You're good.
Oh, okay, you got it, I didn't.
Okay, do you have any comments, Mr. Mayor?
No, I mean, the execution is a little bit more complicated than what we discussed at the last meeting. Just, changing the 1 to a 2, as I looked at it, realized, well, who actually votes in what circumstances. So it's still pretty straightforward, but I'm happy to read the new language.
Absolutely, please.
So I've got up on the screen the highlighted changes. So there shall always be 2 alternate members of the council. The alternate members shall be appointed by the Mendocino County Board of Supervisors under the same qualifications and term as a regular council member. 1 shall be designated at appointment as first alternate and the other as second alternate. In the event that the first alternate leaves the council or becomes a regular member, the second alternate shall become the first alternate. That's in 201D. Then in 201E, the alternate members shall participate in the discussion and debate at all meetings. If a regular council member is absent or otherwise precluded from voting, the first alternate may cast a vote. If any 2 members, including the first alternate, are absent or otherwise precluded from voting, the second alternate may cast a vote. So basically just clarifying when the second alternate is actually voting. And that's it. That's the extent of the changes, other than listing when it was amended.
Okay, well, any other questions from the council, then I'll kind of describe what procedurally I foresee happening here. Don?
I just want to say that I think the language is pretty clear here, and I want to thank Henry for putting this in, this proposal, and I will vote for it.
Okay, Dan, do you have any
I totally concur with what Don said.
Robert?
I'm fine with everything.
Same, I think it's a
Same.
great idea.
Okay, procedurally, what we'll do from here, once we have our vote, we will send a copy of our bylaws to county council, who will review it to make sure that we're in compliance with the regulations established by the Board of Supervisors for the operation of the councils. Once that happens, it will go to the Board of Supervisors, who will review it and either vote yes, no, or change. If the Board of Supervisors approves the addition of an alternate, then the county will go ahead and send out a notice or publish a notice that GMAC is accepting applications for anyone who would be interested in serving as an alternate. So it's not something that's going to happen like by our next meeting, but we're starting the wheels progress moving forward. Any questions, Henry?
Just one other note, I did, since I knew Dave wasn't gonna be around and he's got a mind for this kind of stuff, I did run the language by Dave as well, and
Okay.
he had no complaints, so.
Good. Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve and adopt the proposed bylaw amendment in 8.1. Moved by Don.
I move to approve the new bylaw changes as presented to us this evening.
Okay, do I have a second? Robert?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any
I think
further?
with the bylaws change, I think we should do it roll call.
Okay. Mr. Lewis? Yes or no?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Youngling?
Aye.
Mr. Hayward?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor?
Aye.
Mr. Evans? Aye. It passes unanimously. Okay, item 8.2. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Were there any public comments on this item? Okay, hearing none. We'll close public comments when we've taken our action. Item 8.2, discuss remote meeting support and acquire necessary audiovisual equipment. This is being proposed by Councilmember Mayer. At the regular GMAC meeting on September 4th, 2025, council members discussed the desire to continue support for remote meeting participation after Councilmember Hess departs. A list of equipment and costs would be proposed to the county for purchase and custodial assignment to GMAC. So you want to go ahead and present what you have first, and then we'll open it up for comments.
Throw that up on the screen here. One sec.
These are all personal items that you're using right now, Don?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, while Henry's calling that up, Dan,
Up right here.
do you happen to know what we have in our budget?
It's, the total on this was 500 and something, I believe.
Yeah, now I should say it doesn't include the monitor speakers. So that would be an additional expense. And actually I did have a question for, well, here, I'll let you answer first, but yeah, that'll be an additional expense. I don't know what the price will be for that.
I will double check it. My belief right now is that we have more than adequate remainder in our budget.
Okay.
Although I just received information that Mr. Hess needs to be compensated for an additional Zoom account billing that he received, which is related to this topic. So we should still be very well able to do that.
Okay. Okay, floor is yours.
Yeah, is that, well, quick question, because we should probably transfer that Zoom, this is another thing that we need to talk about transitioning is the various accounts that you pay for.
Exactly. I guess the Zoom account is still under my name, and of course, they're using my credit card because they just billed me again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to get that switched over. Sure.
Yeah.
There's a couple other little things, but,
Yeah, I can take that stuff on and then
Okay.
file for reimbursements on that as well. So you and I should meet again at your convenience, maybe, and it can just be a phone call or a Zoom or whatever.
right, this month we can do
Just to
that, no
cover that
problem.
stuff. Great. And then I did also wonder, so I know those are like studio monitors, right? There's no reason why it has to be that high quality of a speaker, right? We could cheap out a little bit.
It doesn't have to be high quality, but it has to be studio monitors because they're powered and they use these special cables, TRS cables, to plug into the sound interface. So
Gotcha.
normal speakers, the regular home hi-fi system speakers will not work.
Okay, all right. So as long as they're studio monitors. of some
But
sort.
as I mentioned to Henry, you can borrow these, you can continue to use them for a period of time until you get a set of speakers.
Thank you for that. So yeah, so if we've got it in the budget and we all think that this is an appropriate way to spend that budget, I mean, I do think it's good for us to maintain the ability for people to join us by Zoom. I know we get better county participation. It's a lot easier for permit applicants to show up. Occasionally the sheriff likes to come that way. I mean, I think it's, and it's just good for the public to be able to do it that way. So I think we've got some budget. I can't think of many better ways to spend it.
Okay. Any other discussion from the council?
So the two items that are not for sale, we'd have to replace. But still, the total would be roughly around that 584, right? If we can get replacement speakers and headphones, I guess.
Oh, the headphones may not be a problem. I think Henry has a set of headphones that he could use.
Yeah, I've got them somewhere. I just need to find them. If I can't find them, then maybe I'll come back for a subsequent. But
The headphones are a critical tool because it's the only way you can tell what's actually being recorded.
Right.
And the fact that people can hear me in this room doesn't mean it's being recorded properly.
Right.
The only way you can tell is with the headphones.
Those are good ones too. I have the exact same pair for mixing and stuff like that. Those are good ones.
Those are pretty good. I mean, they're not super expensive, but
They're like the
you don't need the top quality,
higher end affordable.
studio quality headphones.
Yeah.
You don't.
yeah, I mean, I've got some somewhere. I just have to find them.
Well, you come into contact with people using headphones, right?
Yeah.
So if you find an old pair laying around.
I also have a really good in with the tech person at Pay and Take. Got me some pretty good speakers before, so.
There you
Not
go.
trying to brag.
There you go.
No, you talking about David?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know David.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Pay and take is a possibility.
Yeah. For
If some
If something comes in.
studio monitor speakers come in like that, but most of the speakers that they have at Pay and Take are just
Old.
home hi-fi system speakers, which would not work.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to take a look. I'll try to swing by on Saturday and just see. Maybe we got lucky.
But yeah,
Also-
Zach, if you know David real well or see him every now and then, you can tell him what we're looking for.
You work together?
Yeah, him and I do Seniors Connect together.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I mean, these speakers, even if you had to get this pair new, I'm sure it's still within GMAC's budget, whatever works.
Okay, we have, do we have a motion to approve the purchase of the equipment as presented?
Sure.
Well, let's start. What's the mechanism for that? Do we want to have them have the county write Don a check?
Dan, why don't you reach out to planning and building and say
sorry, what?
Reach out to planning and building,
Yeah,
your contact person there, see what we can do, that we're procuring the equipment from a council member who's leaving, and we're able to get that equipment for our continued Zoom capability. And you could provide them the breakdown list as well, so they see what we're,
yeah, I just did that. I sent it off to Danielle Fitz, she'll get it in the morning.
okay. So we'll do that, so we're,
I guess the motion is to request that
just
the
the
county
request from the
reimburse,
county
like, pay
that
Don.
Don get paid for, yeah. So is that your motion?
Sure, yeah, I move that we request the county finance people write down a check in the amount of $584.15 in exchange for him generously giving us this equipment.
Minus the speakers and the microphone, right? Because those are not for sale.
No, all the microphones are included, it's the headphones.
Yeah, those are zeroed out in this column. So the 584.15 is the total we'd be paying for all the things he's willing to sell. So the two things that aren't being sold are the headphones and the
Oh, so
monitor,
that-
but those are listed at 0 in the subbed column.
I didn't, okay, my mistake, yeah. Not for sale.
Plus, we'll have to budget for a Zoom account.
Right.
Right.
So that's about, was it 200 a year, a little under?
$160.
Huh?
160,
160 for a year?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's gonna put a burden on you, because you're gonna have to watch our budget.
Which is what, 3,000 still?
Okay, we have a motion by Henry, do we have a second? Second by Robert. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
One abstention.
Seems very appropriate abstention.
You better, that's a huge cost.
Okay, moving, any comments from, is there anybody?
Oh, right. Nobody has raised their hand, but we haven't requested either. Does anybody have any public comments?
No.
No, no.
Okay, item number 9, new business. 9.1, we have the draft 2026 Regional Transportation Plan and Active Transportation Plan. The Mendocino County, the Mendocino Council of Governments has published the draft 2026 for public review and comment by November 26, 2025. The plan updates were drafted in consideration of earlier public and agency input on transportation issues, concerns, actions, and projects. The draft plan materials may be obtained via these internet links, and it gives a list of those, which you can find on our website as well. I don't have a report on that. Does anybody have any questions before we open it up to the public? I see Ms. Barrett is on. Would you like to make some comments, Ms. Barrett?
Sure, and I apologize. We actually have staff, I think, is on their way there right now. We sort of double booked things tonight, but I don't know if he's gonna make it. We have a presentation, but I have not been able to actually open the file for some reason. So I might be winging it a little bit.
Okay.
So I apologize.
Should we delay this and we can do committee reports? and
We
then
can do
circle
that.
back to it?
Why don't we do that?
Sure, you want to, take the next item and then come back?
Okay, we will do that.
And hopefully I can at least get the presentation open.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank
We will
you.
do that.
Okay.
Okay, committee reports, Bower Park renovation. This is going to be posted all around. Bower Park will be closed during construction, and they are moving forward with the project. At the last Board of Supervisors meeting, the project was on the consent calendar to move forward, it was approved. So we're excited that they are going to move forward. They do have a list that I think all of you should have received, was the basic phase 1 and phase 2 of the project. Phase 1 is really addressing all the safety issues, and then phase 2 is handling the infrastructure like the play structure, the basketball court, and some of the other amenities that we've kind of shared that we would like to see. Henry, do you have anything to add?
Just that they're planning to start work on Monday, October 6th. So I think that's when, if I remember correctly, I think that's when they're going to start. Yeah, so they'll be mobilizing starting on the 6th, then we'll be fencing off the parking lot entrances and access points, and putting in the attached signs. So I think that is the at least like official closure, although I don't think actual work is starting on the 6th.
Right, that's where they're mobilizing and they'll be bringing in their equipment.
Yeah.
So a contractor came forward and was chosen then, huh? In
A
last month.
reduced contract, yeah.
Reduced contract.
Well, yeah.
It was
I think they
separated
said,
into 2.
yeah, although it's not 2 different contractors, there's 1 contractor, 2 phases.
2 phases.
They estimated that their construction budget was going to be down by 5%, although they were also hopeful that they'd be able to sort of creatively close that gap. I think their basic plan with things that they can't do is to try to take out the things that can most easily be done later. So for example, trash cans, picnic tables, that sort of thing that can just be dropped in later, that doesn't have to be part of the big project. That would be where the first cuts would probably happen. But they're gonna come back to us as their horse trading on phase 2. So phase 1 is the safety stuff that they feel like has to get done no matter what and is amply budgeted. And then as they need to start tweaking details on phase 2, they'll come back to us for prioritization as needed.
But it's exciting, it's gonna happen, and they did notify the soccer league, so they won't be able to use the field this year, but they'll be able to use it for many years to come.
And there is a potential problem. So the agreement that was signed lists 180 days for phase 1, no more than 180 days for phase 1, and no more than 180 days for phase 2, which for those who are keeping track would take us, if they actually used all of 180 and it didn't overlap, would blow right through the June deadline for the money to get spent. So I asked Doug Anderson of the county about that, and he said there is the potential for phase 1 and phase 2 to overlap or for the dates to be reduced, but they are already trying to get an extension on the grant funding from the state. So hopefully they get an extension. You know, there's clearly good faith efforts, there's progress being made. I don't know enough details to, it would seem weird to me if the state would then, you know, put its foot down and say no, but I don't actually know how that stuff works. Hopefully it won't be necessary, but I'm glad that they're trying to get ahead of that. Either way.
The way I was sort of understanding it, as in sort of like a layperson way, is it seemed like that they're just going to give the contractor all of the money to do all of the work that he can, you know, and so that it's not like the money has to be, you know, waited to be spent. You know, I thought that they were just going to grant the contractor the money that there is, and for him to then implement phases 1 and 2, and by phase 2 is when we find out exactly what's going to be built based on, you know, how much they spend at that point. Because I was concerned about that too, like if, you know, this is what we've all been worried about, it's been 3 years of this process roughly, and our biggest concern, all the stakeholders' biggest concern, is that it dragging along long enough for the county to drop the ball. So that is a concerning prospect if they're you know, if that's the way that they're gonna do it, are they going to, so the money is to be spent as the county is gonna allocate the money throughout the project? And-
Monthly payments.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, usually in government work, they don't pay the money up front. They're paid when they're billed, and it's usually billed monthly.
That's part of the agreement, yeah.
The other part of it is usually, in most cases, and I don't see anything to preclude that from happening here. Once the money is obligated, the state understands that there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that may delay the project. Weather is one, the availability of materials is second. So I would suspect that if the county went back to the state and said, we've obligated the money, we have a contractor under contract, and that they're showing progress, that, yeah, the state will not turn around at the 11th hour and say, nope, we want our money back. So
That makes sense.
I think we've got everything in place, and I think it's going to happen. And yeah, I think the state is fully behind it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was an email sent to David Chipak and myself today from a constituent that said THP tags on many trees at Bauer Park. Why? I responded that I didn't know, but it probably had something to do with the restoration project up at Bauer Park.
What's a THP tag?
Timber harvest plan.
But Dave knew, and so he wrote back, I asked the county park manager your question, and this is the response. This is a requirement of the forest conversion exemption permit to show CAL FIRE the areas where new improvements will occur within the existing forest. While several more trees will be removed to make room for the expanded basketball court, the tags are identifying areas of improvement, not trees to be removed. So I just thought I'd mention it to you because
The actual tags say boundary,
Is that what it says?
THP boundary line, area boundary line.
Okay.
They're not
It's not like
roving
an
off, they're
official
just
THP.
hanging them from branches.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, it's a circle around the pond.
Okay. Now, is that new tags? I haven't been up there in a while, so.
It's a pink ribbon, they just
Been up
tie it
there
on a
more.
branch,
Okay.
So that, it's around, you said it's around the pond?
mostly.
So I wonder if that's saying, basically like marking like, don't do anything closer to the pond because we don't want all the smoke that comes with messing with US waters.
It doesn't say which side
Yeah,
is the area.
Yeah.
It just says this is the area boundary.
yeah.
Okay, are there any comments from anyone in the audience? Seeing none. Henry, do you have anything on the Caltrans SR1 Gualala Downtown Enhancement Project? Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So before you start, I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to make note that Councilmember Youngling has stepped down from the council dais, recusing himself from any discussion on this project. Okay, Henry?
yeah, so, so where we are right now is there's an appeal from Bauer to the county on their decision to approve the permit. The appeal is primarily related to parking, though it also does discuss landscaping. Their intention to move forward with a vote on making a maintenance agreement for streetscape landscaping is delayed. Apparently, the county council thought that they ought not pursue that sort of thing while a legal appeal was pending. That devoting staff time to that was questionable. So they're delaying that vote until the appeal, which was supposed to happen this week, but then they've now delayed that appeal vote until November. I am not clear, it's scheduled for November 4th. I reached out to Ted Williams about that. He is concerned about the timeline and is going to be reaching out, or perhaps already has reached out to Caltrans on that. My guess is he might reach out in fact. So hopefully he will keep me and us in the loop with what's going on. But where we stand right now, we're in limbo waiting for that appeal to get heard, which is currently on the board's agenda for November 4th.
Okay, Don?
Yeah, I'm curious whether this appeal is to the planning commission
It's to the board.
to the board of supervisors?
Yeah,
Because
it's a-
usually something like this goes to the planning commission first and then to the board of supervisors if there's a final appeal.
So it was a coastal permit administrator review that approved it. And then for a fee, you can appeal to the full board of supervisors to overrule what the staff did. So that's what Bauer did. I think it's a,
Okay, that's
20.
usually the way it works with the planning commission too, but I
Yeah.
guess in this case, the planning commission is not involved.
I don't think, I shouldn't speak out of turn. I'm not sure. But I don't believe that it goes through them before it hits.
Okay, but in any event, okay, the appeal is to the board of supervisors.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's on their agenda for their November 4th meeting. I think it's a $2,800 fee for appealing that, which Bauer has done. So there's that appeal, and then after that, it would go to the coastal commission, and then if there's a coastal commission appeal, that's another some amount of time, and the wheels are turning slowly.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, is there anyone from the viewing audience that would like to comment on our streetscape, downtown streetscape project? Okay, hearing none, we will close that. We welcome Robert back to the council dais.
And I don't know if we want to, well, no, sorry, go ahead.
Sure. Item 10.3, local coastal program, and town plan update. David's not here. Economic development, Robert and Kevin.
I have nothing to report.
And our website, anything from your Don?
Yeah, I don't have anything more to report. I'll just say that, I'm gonna be sort of handing the keys over to Henry for all the relationships we have with the different entities that allow the website to function.
Mm-hmm.
So there's several entities that are involved in that, and there are accounts. And so Henry will get all that information.
Yeah, and I'm gonna request a second member of this committee. I think there should always be two of us that have access to all this stuff, so. I don't know who wants to volunteer, but we don't have to figure that out right now, but I would feel a lot better, if I get hit by a bus, somebody should know
I'm technically
what the logins are.
challenged, so.
I mean, you're looking at me because I do tech stuff, but
Gee,
just full disclosure, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be on this council.
Okay.
My work is building 2 new fiber networks down in Forestville and Jenner, which is very exciting. And I'm gonna go down there and run that region. Network's gonna be up and running sometime next fall.
Okay.
So we think we're probably gonna be moving the whole family down sometime around beginning of summer. So
Summer of 2026?
Of 26, correct. So I don't want to commit myself to anything further, because then there would be just another transitional thing.
Sure.
Nothing is physically moving yet, but it is happening, so I just figured I might as well mention that.
Okay, thank you.
Are you saying Jenner's getting broadband and we're not?
Correct. Yeah. The nonprofit that secured it, I think, needs to come to Gualala though. It's a really awesome, cute little nonprofit called We Conduit. They're based out of Forestville. They secured almost close to an $18 million grant from the Utility Commission. And it's going to be Forestville, Jenner, Myers Grade, all the way up to Timber and Ocean Cove.
So it's just, yeah, just Sonoma County.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, that's great, because
Yeah.
if you're having lunch at the Aquatic Cafe, you'll be able to get on the internet. Yeah. Right now, there's zero signal.
Yeah, it is bad, yeah.
Well, what we can do is, if the council would like, we can take a 10-minute break. Give staff a chance to get here by 7:15 for their presentation. I know that they've come all this way. Ms. Barrett, do you have any update from staff or?
Yeah, I do. I spoke with them, and so they were in Point Arena, which ran longer, so it'll just be me via Zoom, so they won't be there in person.
Okay. Well, then we're all ready for you.
Okay. And am I able to share screen?
I think you should be able to, but if it doesn't let you, let me know. Yeah, cool, perfect.
Okay. My computer is being really weird, so I can only see part of it, but if you guys can see it all, that is what matters. So, all right. So we are in the kind of the tail end of an update to our regional transportation and active transportation plan. And this is the major transportation planning document, long-range transportation document that we update every 4 years. It covers all modes of transportation within our county, and it lays out goals and policies, identifies needs, and identifies potential projects. So we started this update several months ago, focused on the needs assessment initially, and did that through multiple rounds or multiple forms of input opportunities, including we attended a lot of community events, we attended all the MAC meetings, and then had an online interactive map and a survey that were available. So this slide that's showing now, this just says that the last RTP was adopted in February of 2022. Like I said, these are 4-year updates, and so we plan to wrap this up by February of 2026. We're actually aiming to adopt in December, but due to timing with some other projects that we've going on that relate to this, it may not happen until February. So like I said, we've done quite a bit of public outreach today, including presentations and discussions at the MACs. I'm not going to read through all the events that we've been to. We have worked with our local, our member agencies, so county and the cities. We've also worked with Caltrans, local tribal governments, the airports, harbor districts, and the Great Redwood Trail Agency or Authority in developing the draft plan. So the draft, which is what we're now presenting and hoping to get comment on, contains goals and policies, it contains modal elements, and within each of those modal elements, there's a needs assessment. Well, within most of those modal elements, there's a needs assessment, an action plan, and performance measures, and discussions about funding. So the modal elements that we include in our regional transportation plan are the state highway system, county roads and city streets, active transportation. And when we say active transportation, we're talking really about pedestrian and bicycle, public transit, rail transportation, aviation, maritime, tribal transportation, and then we have a financial element. Now, this presentation is going to focus on a few of these. So some of these modal elements we have a lot of involvement in. We have funding, we control funding that goes to these things, but some of them we don't. So the ones that aren't really going to be part of this presentation because they're really included in the RTP more as an informational element rather than an action element. So those are the rail, aviation, and maritime. So they won't really be a focus of this presentation, but we'll focus more on the others. So the plan starts off with an introduction, which just talks about some sort of overarching issues, including greenhouse gas and climate change information. It also goes over the public outreach. Then it moves on to goals, objectives, and policies. And these goals, objectives, and policies are divided into these various categories. I'm not going to read through the list. And I should say the full plan, the full draft is available on our website. Our website is mendocinocog.org. So if you want to read through all the goals and policies, that is where you would find the full plan. So then we move on to the modal elements, and the first up is state highway. So the next few slides are going to have highlights of the projects that have been identified in the plan. Not every project will be listed here, but kind of highlights from each section. So we divide projects typically into short and long range for this plan. So short range is typically up to 10 years, and then long range is between 10 and 20 years for implementation. Of course, anybody that's been around for a while knows it takes quite a while to implement a project. It takes a while to save up the money for it. And then in Mendocino County, where we have a lot of archaeological and natural resources, it takes a lot of time to get through the project development, working with regulatory agencies, permitting, all of that. So it takes a while. And so a lot of times our long range projects don't even get done within that 20-year time frame. That's just sort of the nature of implementing transportation projects in a rural area. So in this action element, highlights are, of course, the Gualala downtown streetscape. And that will be, within the early years of this plan. And of course, it is funded and moving forward. There's also on State Route 1, an ADA sidewalk project in the city of Fort Bragg that's being implemented by Caltrans. US 101 North State Street interchange improvements. This is actually a County of Mendocino project. US 101 Hopland ADA project. So that is, I believe, scheduled for construction in 2027 and will improve sidewalks and the slope across the highway and some other pedestrian safety improvements through Hopland, and then a region-wide ZEV infrastructure improvement. So charging facilities throughout the county. And then long-range projects are additional US 101 Ukiah area interchange projects, the State Route 1 Garcia River flooding, and I think you're probably all familiar with that problem. There is not a specific project actually programmed, or not a detailed project programmed yet for this, but it is identified by Caltrans as a long-range project. And then improvements at the intersection of State Route 20 and Blosser Lane in the Willits area, and State Route 222 in the Ukiah area, which is Talmadge Road. There are bicycle and pedestrian improvements planned. Next up in the plan is the county roads and city streets. So highlights of projects included in this section are for County of Mendocino. Some projects are storm damage repairs, their annual maintenance program, bridge projects, North State Street intersection improvements, and Redemeyer Road extension. And in their 20-year maintenance plan that the county has developed, in 2035, I believe there's a group of projects that are planned for the Gualala area. And that project list, I believe, is included as an appendix to this plan. So if you want to see the full list, you can find it. I think it might also be on the county DOT website. In Ukiah, some
If there's
highlights. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Is there any way you could zoom in a little bit on that screen? Would if you could, yeah, one or two more notches would be, maybe one more if you don't mind. All right. Is that a little better for people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
No.
No problem. All right. Ukiah area highlights are various road rehabilitation projects, an extension of Clay Street, which will go through to the new courthouse area, a roundabout at Low Gap Road and Bush, Wall Lane reconstruction, additional downtown streetscape improvements, and School Street multimodal project. In Willits, they also have various road rehabilitation projects, an annual maintenance and striping program, and a rail trail project. In Fort Bragg, the Willow Street pedestrian improvements, various street rehab projects, the Central Business District Coastal Trail connection at Chief Solari Drive, and in Point Arena, Port Road rehab project and Windy Hollow Road improvements. And then these are some highlights of the long range projects. So again, this is 10 to 20 years. So for the county North State Street intersection improvements, phase 2, which will be some additional roundabouts, East Side Potter Valley Road improvements, phase 2, Orchard Avenue extension, and Brook Trails second access. And the county actually has grant funding for Brook Trails second access now, but for project development only. So within the long range, it would be the construction portion of that. And then in Ukiah is the Oak Street Bridge replacement, East Perkins Multimodal Improvement Project, Airport Park Boulevard extension to Norgard Lane. In Willits, East Valley Street Bridge replacement, Browns Corner intersection, State Route 20 and Blosser Lane intersection improvements. And then Fort Bragg, Maple Street Complete Streets Project, a parallel facility to State Route 1, improving circulation system, and a secondary emergency access to Noyo Harbor. And in Point Arena, a roundabout at State Route 1 and Lake Street.
So no roundabout for Gualala, huh?
Nothing is identified at this point. No, it would, so it would, my understanding with Caltrans is right now that for them to be willing to do a roundabout, there has to be, it has to meet certain conditions. And so I don't know if the intersections there just don't meet those conditions. But no, there's nothing planned at this point.
Yeah, the one we wanted was at the south end of town as people come screaming in over the bridge at Old State Highway and State Route 1, which, Caltrans has repeatedly said would not be part of the streetscape project.
Right.
But now seeing that they do have a State Route 1 roundabout in the 10 to 20 year time frame, it makes me a little sad that we were not apparently considered for that same love that Point Arena is getting.
Yeah, and I don't know what the decision-making process behind the one in Point Arena was. So yeah, I can't really speak to that.
Fair enough.
If there is a demonstrated safety problem, like an accident history at that intersection, though, it's definitely something that, if they are not already aware of it, should be brought to Caltrans' attention, because when there is an accident history, it really changes how things can be funded, or if they can be funded.
Yeah, I don't know enough to know about that.
All right, moving on to the active transportation element. And let me just ask, as I move through this, I know everybody's time is valuable. if you would prefer, I can just kind of read through maybe the coastal or the county and Fort Bragg, more skip over like Willits and Ukiah, if those are of less interest to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, do people feel the need for the Fort Bragg ones even?
No, that's fair.
Well,
No,
one of the things that I noticed in your presentation, and thank you very much for putting it together. The presentation focuses primarily on those established cities within Mendocino County, and there's only one bullet point for the remainder of the unincorporated areas of the county. So I'm wondering, how do we kind of spread the interest to the unincorporated areas? Because right now it seems the focus is on the cities with one bullet point for county road, or for undeveloped county roads.
Well, I mean, so this presentation is just highlights of what's in the plan. It's not the full plan. And there are a lot of other projects identified, particularly in long range, that are throughout the county. We tried to include highlights for each jurisdiction, each one of MCOG's member jurisdictions. So that's, we weren't able to include something for every unincorporated community in the county, but just tried to kind of pick some highlights to include for the county. I think Caltrans also, some of those projects would be, probably most of them are in unincorporated areas of the county. So not just the county bullet. And then the Great Road Trail also has some projects that are in the unincorporated area.
Sure. It appears that the council's interest is really to focus on maybe projects on the south coast, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if we could jump to those, it might make your presentation quicker and really have our focus on what's applicable to our area.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, like Manchester and South, I would say is kind of what my head is for.
Yep.
I agree.
Okay. So for active transportation, what we have pulled out for highlights then that would be of interest to you is the Gualala downtown streetscape. And that is all that is on this slide. And Point Arena did not have any active transportation projects identified for implementation in the short range, so they were not listed on there. However, they do have a long range project, so a multi-use trail from the Cove. And then there's the Windy Hollow Road bicycle and pedestrian bridge identified by the county. And that is it for the South Coast area on this slide.
Okay.
Public transit. So one of the big projects, and this again is also, this is an inland project, but their big capital project within the time frame of this plan is construction of a new transit center. They're also about to launch a hydrogen infrastructure feasibility study, which would benefit transit countywide because it would allow zero emission buses. The current battery electric buses have range issues in our area, particularly in the winter, and if they're traveling over the mountains through the more mountainous areas. And so their MTA is exploring hydrogen as an option that would allow them to get some of those zero emission buses across longer routes. And then, of course, ongoing vehicle replacement affects countywide transit as well. And then they've got other facility upgrades planned. And then tribal transportation, this is really focuses on, rather than actual construction, although we do have a couple exceptions here, it focuses a lot on how MCOG can sort of develop relationships with the tribe and then support their activities. So the two construction projects we have identified, State Route 162 Corridor Trail Project that is in Covelo, and then the Redwood Valley Tribe has been pursuing development of an emergency access route. And then we are continuing to implement the 162 project and planning tribal transportation workshops. So those are just sort of, like I said, these are highlights. This is not the entire plan. And the next step is that we will take another draft to this to our board, possibly with changes in November, just for discussion, not action. And then we are hoping to have it finalized for adoption in December. But may possibly be at our February meeting. I'm also going to just switch. I think if I switch tabs here, you can all see the actual document. This is on our website.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so this is here for everybody, and so we would love to hear comments either individually or from the MAC. And it is organized, as you can see, it's goals and policies, and then each modal section. In the appendices, there's also just a list of, or we call it the constrained and unconstrained list, which basically means that we know how we're paying for something or we don't, but we know that it's a project that's we're going to try to make happen, or an implementing agency being county, Caltrans, city is going to try to make something happen. So that is in one of the appendices. But these are all the sections. So I would invite you all to take a look at that and submit comments that we can incorporate it into an updated draft. So that's sort of the end of my presentation. I'm happy to answer questions or
Dan?
comments right now if you've got them.
All right, Dan?
Yeah, I have a question. I saw one go by for Windy Hollow Road in Point Arena.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty rugged piece of road. Do you know what the plan is for that?
Let me get to that section of the document itself and see if I can find more information.
Yeah, that's the one where the bridge fell into the Garcia River many years ago.
Like 30 years ago, I think.
Yeah. And some guy dropped a UPS truck into it fairly recently.
Yeah, I saw that. I believe that it is a pedestrian bridge that has been discussed. Yeah, so active transportation.
Yeah, I can say I having read through this real quick, they talked about regrading to deal with the fact that it floods several times a year, and due to environmental and topographical constraints, modifying State Route 1 to avoid flooding would be extremely difficult and cost prohibitive. There's also bridge on Windy Hollow Road over the Garcia River as a second route in times of flooding is also being considered. And they did a feasibility study at that bridge and determined that it could be done using existing conventional bridge types and construction methods, but would have an estimated cost of $35 million or more, so the county's not going to do that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I guess the other thing was pedestrian bridge is maybe a thing that would actually happen. Yeah, so that would be over the Garcia River on Windy Hollow Road. That is listed in long-range priority improvements. So I guess
it is, yeah.
So bicycle over it, even if the road flooded, but no help.
Yeah,
we're driving across, I think, for now.
and is sometimes those pedestrian bridges, although it makes a lot more costly. Sometimes they can be designed to hold vehicles if needed. I don't know if that would, because like I said, you're basically building a vehicle bridge then that a single car could not two-way, but so I've got it up here on the screen now. You can see there's not a whole lot of detail listed with it. The benefit is that, it could be an emergency access and then would also connect the two portions of tribal land that are on either side of the river there. But yeah, a brand new bridge, I think, is cost prohibitive. Caltrans will, in the state highway long range section, there's also a project, like I said, there's no detail with it. And so I don't know exactly what the improvements would be, but there is a project listed to address the flooding on State Route 1 in the long range time frame.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, and sorry for the technical difficulties. But yeah, it's on our website, which is mendocinocog.org. You can get to it from, if you're on our home.
We've got it linked
Got
in
it?
the agenda.
Okay.
For council members, although, sorry, I shouldn't cut you off, the people on the call or who watch the recording may still want to know, so by all means.
Yeah, so mendocinocog.org, and if you're on our homepage, there's a link to it, 2026 Regional Transportation and Active Transportation Plan.
All right. Don, do you have any questions?
No, fine.
Henry?
Nope.
Robert?
No.
Zach?
No.
No. Ms. Barrett, thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate it, and we look forward to working with you and staff on furthering this plan.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Okay. We concluded all our committee reports. We concluded 9.1. Don, can I get a clarification? What is your attendance calendar looking like? What do you, from this meeting forward?
My plan was to resign by the end of the year.
So
Basically, I'll be around for the December meeting.
Okay, so you what, resign by January?
Well, either that or at the end of the December meeting, I mean.
Oh, okay, so, but you plan on attending the December meeting, so your resignation would be effective by the first meeting in 2026, right?
It could be,
January.
yes. Right.
Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to factor in our attendance as we move forward through November and December. If everybody could provide me your vacation schedules for November and December. Dan?
I will not be here for the November meeting.
That would be November 6th.
Correct. Leaving in October 25th, returning November 16th.
Okay. So Don, you'll be here in November or you won't? Because I know you're busy. Okay. So no in November, but you will be here in December. Okay.
Which would be December 4.
December 4. Okay.
And then January 1.
Is that the next meeting?
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be on our next agenda is our January meeting calendar.
Yeah, maybe not New Year's Day.
Yeah, we'll probably.
Oh, is that what it falls on?
Yeah.
That's great.
So, much like the other one, I think we canceled
Yeah, I think that one was the second.
July 4th.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we canceled July 4th. Can't
We're hitting
believe
the
we wouldn't-
highlights this year.
Can't believe we wouldn't want to be here July 4th and January 1st. Okay, treasurer's report, anything?
Nothing new until Don told me that that he's gonna send me the info for the Zoom bill. And I will deal with that, and I have an inquiry into Danielle Fitz about the remainder of our budget balance so that we can see if they'll approve purchasing the audiovisual equipment that we've been using.
All right. And any council member comments? Dan?
Other than that, and that I won't be here at the next meeting, none.
Okay. Don? No. Henry?
This isn't exactly appropriate for comments, but you're gonna send the bylaw stuff to the
Yeah,
county, right?
county
Okay.
council.
Great. And I'll just leave the draft watermark on there and I'll take it off once they respond.
Okay, and I've got a clean copy of it, right?
Yeah, I sent both the clean and the highlighted
Okay.
change. I would send both to them for their convenience.
Okay, I can do that. Robert, anything?
20 to 20.
Hey, no spoilers, no spoilers. Gonna watch that later.
Zach?
I have a question, if anyone has any information. Does anybody know about the current Caltrans project downtown with the culvert? They've been doing an awesome job, you know, I'm really excited that they got all that emergency funding, but I was wondering if anyone knows, like, how much longer the project is supposed to go, or they're, you know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be completed by November 1st.
Yeah.
Red, yeah.
Well,
And they were pretty much,
the tunnel's done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like all the cylinders are in there.
Yeah.
It's in the ICO.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
The ICO talked about it, so they've still got a bunch of work. They've still got a bunch of work to do. So basically, the tunnel's done, water can drain, but they want to restore the ability of salmonids to go up that creek, which had completely degraded with the old tunnel, which had eroded the path into it. So they're gonna build out sort of a concrete structure essentially to restore that access in low flow periods. That's gonna take a little while. Once that's all like cured and set, then they're gonna need to do erosion control, restore that access road that they set up. So there's the major work is done according to the ICO, but there's a bunch of other stuff that's gonna need to happen. I think they were waiting for a second crane, although I feel like I saw a second crane there.
There was a second.
So hopefully they'll.
Looked awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think the stuff that's like narrowing the roadway, I think that'll go away pretty soon. But other work will continue.
They did a good job beating the rain for that project.
Yeah.
Also, the shout out to the foreman who let my 5-year-old son and I hang out at the construction site for a
Checked
little
it
bit,
out.
and then brought us over and showed us a bunch of pictures of what was going on down there on his computer. It was pretty great.
Very nice. And a big shout out to the ICO. Katie, thank you for attending our meeting.
It's Karen, thanks.
Oh, Karen, I'm sorry, Karen Elliott, right?
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for all the work that y'all do.
Yeah, and thank you for taking on the role of heading up the ICO. We appreciate it and keeping the people going.
My pleasure.
Okay. Hearing no other comments from anyone, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Dan, second by Don. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. We stand adjourned at
7:40.
7:40.
7:38.
Not our shortest meeting, but close.
Hey, it was a good one, you know? We got things done. So.
Stopping the recording now.